Hi there, and welcome to the world of Commodore.
That was easy.
I may have mentioned I spent a little time at the world of Commodore this last weekend, actually yesterday, near Toronto, and there was a table, an awful table, called the deal table, where anybody can bring anything they don't want, and anybody can take it. Hang on, let me just turn things on here. There's nothing like the sound of a pet waking, or a 40-40 chirping its way to life. Anyway, I do try very hard to stay away from this deal table. But alas, there are times that I am weak. For example, oh, this is even more cool than I thought. I thought this was something that had come out, well, it still is long ago, but I remember everybody wanted a Hayes Smart Modem, and the Smart Modem is the one that most, not all, but a lot of modems to come down the road imitated in terms of their commands that you could make it do things. So here, anyway, I thought this was 1200. This is actually a Hayes Smart Modem Ultra 96, or I guess 9600 baud. Can you imagine? And there it is. And I was not going to be getting this, because of course, do I need it? Not really. But in the box, with a well-weathered rubber band in place, there was the power supply. So, have I done anything with this up to this point? No. Will it actually, after plugging it in, will I ever do anything with it? Probably not. But, you know, sometimes we are weak. So just a moment. One thing I must do, actually maybe I'll do it now. Maybe I will. Is, excuse me, I'm going to grab, no, I just grabbed an IEEE cable. I'm going to grab a power bar. And yes, I'm going to stick through here. And then go back here. And I'm going to plug it in. Oh. Part of being organized is, I suppose, being organized. And now, I have this power bar here. I don't need to go back there. Although I did go back there to get back here. So I will plug in this Hayes for use with Hayes units marked 14 volts AC. Alright. And here we can share the moment of truth. Now, neat. So it's ready to auto answer. I don't know what all these, I know what all these things, but as you say, I forget. But anyway, it seems to come up. And probably it works. It does seem to be shaken. No, not really. There's a little movement of something inside. Do I care? No, not really. Well, good. There is a vintage, not quite as vintage as I thought, but still a vintage treasure with a power supply that works. And I'm sure you're wondering, what could possibly be in this box? Well, so am I. What happened was I was standing there when somebody came and plunked the box down. And there was some other funny keyboard, just a keyboard or something on the top, and somebody scooped it quickly. And then I looked and said, oh look, a box. Well, and I probably would have liked whatever the keyboard was. What is this? This autoboot V2. Oh, it has switches here. Autoboot V2, if the switches are up. Base 9 V9. Base V9, one down, one up. V2 down. My golly. So, let me just hold this up for a moment. So first of all, the case is broken. It has sustained damage. But over here, there's two push buttons and two switches. In the case, something tragic has happened. And then there are these secret instructions that I will not lose, because it's something about autoboot and something about base 9, and there's a sys52470, and I don't know what that means. Now, the other thing, of course, is, does this machine even work? I don't know. Did I need to get it? Not really. But, you know. Oh my. Okay, so here, another treasure from the same box, is the circuit board of a Commodore 128. There are chips missing. Just looking at the bottom. Actually, it may not. It may, I don't think it's even screwed into the board. There are chips missing. There are. Date made in 1986. So there, certainly the SID chip is missing. 1, 2, 3. So 4 or so things. Now, so is there any point in really plugging this in at the moment? No, not really. It doesn't look terrible. So I'll put it over here and lean it up with another Commodore 128 board that I need to sort out. And here, oh my. This is like an original, well, not, I don't know, it's 83, whatever. But it is a 64 board. And every possible chip that could be removed has been removed. Anything in a socket is empty. But boy, it has a lot of sockets. A lot of things were in sockets. Wow. So, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to set this with lots of the other parts over here. If I can find a spot. This may be challenging. Okay, there. I've slipped it on top of a 64. So, it looks like it might have almost been somebody's test board. And here is a much newer version, a smaller version of 64. And once again, anything that is in sockets, which there's only 3, has been removed. So, what am I going to do with this right now? I'm going to put it with the other boards, where I just put the other one, because, first of all, do I know if there's any chance that even the fuse is gone? But you know, if I was going to leave stuff there, I would do the same, I think. I would take what, I could and needed to save other things and donate this for others. So, I'm going to put this somewhere. Yes, I'll put that there. And, the last thing in here is another board just like it. Doesn't look bad from the back or the front. Pretty much the same chips are missing. Certainly, I'm sure the SID chip is missing. They always are. So, I'm going to put this one on the pile. So, I guess the only thing to do right now is, rejoice, look, I have an empty box. I can put more dead things in there. Maybe this box, maybe I'll take it back next year and donate things. Maybe. But here we have, this is an interesting thing. I think this is worth a moment in time. So, I'm going to snag some cables. There's the power supply for the 64. There. I must actually, I need to look in this again. Yeah, it looks like most chips are not socketed. And most chips are there. I'm going to put this up on the 4040, check the power, apply some power, see what happens. Aha! Nothing. Now, let me just double check. I'm sure the power supply is plugged in, but am I sure? Yes, I'm sure the power supply is plugged in. So this comes up doing nothing. Is there a fuse? There is. I suppose. Well, it could be. Wait, is the LED plugged in? No. Look at that. Simple. The power LED not plugged in. Oh, look, imagine that. When the LED is plugged in, it lights up. So, turn on the monitor, turn it on. And see what happens. And the answer is, as of this moment, nothing. It does a little flash on the monitor, which shows that something is happening. But what does it do? Nothing. What is all this? There's a thing in here. It's called autoboot version 9 BB2, and there are many wires. And the wires all seem to be hooked up. Two places. There's a couple wires that run to the serial port. There's some wires that run, it seems, to near the user port. I have no idea what this is, but there is always one thing we can do. We can take the cartridge that is supposed to analyze dead things and see if it does anything. Let's see if I can even get it in. Okay, let's see. I am kind of suspecting we're not going to see much of anything. There it is, the 64 dead test. Interesting. I don't hear any sort of typical noises off the sound from here. So I'm suspicious of the stitch, but you never know. So, what am I going to do with this? This fine example of a Hayes Smart Modem. I'm going to do the only reasonable thing, I think. If I can even find a spot. Maybe I can't find a spot. Well, it can sit on top of the data set that's sitting on top of the 1520 plotter. It can sit there and it's happy. So, oh, wow, it actually found something bad. I've never seen this. Anyway, it's showing that the color RAM, U10 and U21, are bad. Wicked. Let's see what else it's going to find. I just want to peek. Because I think, ooh, it's stuck. Oh yeah, no, there's really not much to do with sockets in here. I wonder if now that it's found something bad, it stopped. It does not seem to be carrying on. Maybe it's doing more in-depth assessment. I don't know. Let's listen to the sound of a 4040. That is lovely. Well, so the 64 dead test has finally found something bad. And now, it does seem, at 42 seconds, stuck. Oh, okay. Well, I just pressed a button on the top, which I'm not sure what it does. Oh, I guess it's a reset button. I wonder what this one does. Oh. I think it's another sort of reset button. So this thing, I gotta keep this in here. This, these notes, otherwise I would never know what this stuff was. So right now, according to this, it's the autoboot V2 basic 9. Wow. I think I need to do a little Googling to find out what does this mean. Anyway, I'm just going to let this run a little bit more. This machine is certainly yellowed and well used and certainly somewhat smashed. Okay, we're getting into the color RAM. Bad. Oh, now it's saying different ones are bad. Or one different one is bad. And I do believe it is now just going to sit there and do nothing. It was at the same 42-second mark. Did you know that a simple way to check out chips, and it is not scientific and it doesn't always work, but often it does, is to just, especially with RAM chips I find, touch them. And oftentimes, if there are, say there's 8 RAM chips, and you don't know what's going on, but you just touch each one. If you find one that is remarkably hot, where you actually say, ow, there's a pretty good chance that's the trouble. Now, if it's not in the socket, you're still, you know, it means a lot of tinkering and unsoldering and all of that, but still. Okay, so this dead test has found bad RAM. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to look back at that note there, and I'm going to switch this switch to, it says basic 9. I don't know if that's going to make any difference at all. I don't suspect it will. But I have no idea what this thing is in here. Oh, by the way, you know, I was talking about rubber bands. Sometimes they're used for cables. This one, it's still holding on, but it is some corroded and almost ready to die. So that I will not keep. I will not reuse. I will put it over here and I will dispose of it. So, after doing that switch on the switchy on here, it is doing, it's now screen RAM. First it does 0 page, then it does stack page. Now it's doing screen RAM. The next I think is color RAM. And probably it's going to stop again. Oh, okay, it stopped. So now it's saying U10 and U21, although last time it said U10 and U22. Either way, I mean, there's something wrong. So, just because I'm curious, I'm going to flip this switch one other way, press the reset button, and see if this makes any difference. And you know what, I'm 99% sure it will make no difference. But I wish this thing, when it found this bad stuff, would continue, because there may be more issues to deal with. And how will I know what they are if it won't tell me? How? So it's done 0 page, stack page, it's doing the screen RAM. I just realized, where did I put my screwdriver? There. I did not put the screws back into the 4040. I must do that before I forget. Otherwise, they will end up with a wayward screw collection. Okay, we're getting to color RAM. And yep, same one's bad. So that makes no difference. One thing I'm going to do though, I'm going to take this out because it's had a little time to get warmed up. I'm going to turn it on. It's funny, it made more typical sort of squeaky noise. I'm going to hit a reset button and flip the switches. Nope. Well, I wouldn't suspect that someone would put a working 64 DOA screen RAM. Broken case. Also boot. So, I'm going to open this up, put this note in with the other note, unplug, put this rather unique but not working, see the switches? Not working machine down in the pile of things to be explored. By the way, if you know anything about this autoboot, I can actually, it might be helpful, or I don't know if I can do this. See, there are wires, no, I can't do it, I'm going to draw a thing. There are wires all over the place inside of this thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Oh boy, looking at that machine has had a rough, dirty life. It has. I suspect there is a smoker involved. But, we all have our weaknesses. So, it is important to make sure that the little tabs, are on the inside of the drive. With screws, I find they didn't, just use the same screws and everything, and things just don't work right if you don't. Come on. I mean, it doesn't affect the way the machine works. What's going on here? If you don't have the right screws, or even if things are screwed in. But, in terms of, historical things, let's move it. It's good. What is going on here? I've never had the lid of a disk drive fight so much about getting screwed. Perhaps what I need to do, because I think I have done this, I need to just loosen off the other one a little bit. Okay. So as they say, this one is now, it will be buttoned up. And now the ironic thing is, I'm going to have to reorganize the tower of drives to put this there. And I do not want to put it on the floor. Oh yes. And it has a power cord that is attached. So around we go. I am thinking that at this moment I do not want to put this on the floor. I do not. Oh. Hello. But I don't want to have it here to get, banged up in my, oh, discs. Right. So, I think, oh, I'll put it up here. Very carefully. Yes. There's nothing like vertical integration. I believe that was an expression of Jack Tremaine's. Oh. Well, there. If you're in and around Toronto next year, and you're looking for a deal, head to the world of Commodore. You never know what you'll find on the table. So, I really need to get back to the SX64 assessment. But that, as they say, is another story, is another episode, another moment in time. So, if you have any comments, questions, anybody know anything about that autoboot thing, please drop me a line. As we continue to be in, yes, the Twilight Zone.
That was easy.
Yes, that was easy.